I am bound to always spend my life in being careful and making sure that no matter what a human being does, he always has got something out there which stands against it. It may be lunacy, true lunacy. It may be through natural instincts or good, normal sort of attitude of that person, whichever way it is. But the person, there are people there who don't have to necessarily agree with you or with me. And so I have to know that. I have to accept that. And I have to also be in my own shoes, stand in my own place, in my own room, in my own rights. Not to step in their shoes, or not to be in their way, but also making sure that they are not also in my way. So it's not necessarily, to my view, I'm not seeing them as an enemy, but I'm seeing them as some sort of situation where I have to be critical and very careful of. So my awareness is there. Now they also will see me in that same manner, or they might see me as an enemy in so many sense. Now, what am I trying to put out here in all this, all this analysis that I'm giving here? I'm trying to get you to understand that if you are not that person that I might be describing as an enemy or as somebody that I should be aware of, then you and I are standing shoulder to shoulder. We have nothing to worry about than the peace that we probably will enjoy in this moment and forever, as long as we're able to survive. But if that is not the case, which I'm so sure that can also be possible, then I'm bound to be aware, and you that I speak to. But at the end of the day, I will not probably be speaking to you, because at the end of the day, you will not even have the time to listen. You won't even be there. You probably will shun over it or look over it, not by accident or by intentional means. You probably will, because you probably spend your life only getting engaged in things that attracts to you, and you have your own things that attracts you, and maybe nothing from me or from whatever the video is attracts you. So it's accepted, it's fine. I look out for all those things. But the few that might know might have effects on others also. So as we know, things don't just happen. Effects takes time to sort of grow and merge around and widen its scope and reach out to everybody. It takes time. That effects, energy does not just run through in a second and it's there everywhere. It goes through the wires, and it takes time to reach out to every end that it means to reach. So that's how it could be. So we have to start from somewhere anyway, and that is what I think that is something that we would look back. But I'm going through this because we are talking about something which we believed, or our elders or leaders believe that they are starting from somewhere. But what I'm suggesting is, wherever they start from, they always leave the main source of the problem undone. And when they leave it undone, it comes back hitting to them the work that they have done to be redo again by another person. So another leader had to come in and organize another peaceful means to sit and talk about peaceful things. If it's the father, it's the same thing. If the father does not get to the roots of what is bringing the quarrel between the family or the children, it will always come back again. If you don't get the roots of the disease and find out and cure the disease will always come back. It's the same application, So if they are not looking for the roots, then they shouldn't be even thinking of setting up a table just for the fun of it, to sort of impress people that during my time, I set a peaceful means between the Palestinians and the Jewish people, and make pictures of it and demonstrate that in the news, and people will know that, when I was president, this is what I did. For what reason? Making mockery of the people, or making mockery of what really does that? What substance is there to sort of what lessons is there to have in that? We can't continue in that life forever. So I believe that somehow the core issue is where the issues are, where the problems are, needs to be tackled. And this is where I think the problems are. the things we read, what we believed when we were growing up, what we understood, what we were told, the information that we had, those information today has become the core reasons of how we decide. If I hate anybody or I stand against anybody, it's all coming from the information that I have built in my life when I was growing up. Now, where am I going to look? I'm looking into my religion. I'll look into my culture. And those are the basis of the places where, the foundations of which I was built. And that is where my anger, my hatred, my resentment, whatever it is, are coming from. There is no doubt about that. I can be confident about saying that to you. And you can check it out. Yeah, you can do it yourself or somebody will do it for you, whichever way it is. If you go to a counselor, it's the same procedure. He will dig through your past or dig through your roots and sort of find ways to sort of counsel you and get you right or straighten up your mind. It's the same process that I'm saying here. So, from what I have pointed out to you, if you're not an atheist or you are an atheist, whichever way you see yourself, Christian, Muslim, whatever way you see yourself, there's contradictory statements here. And those contradictory statements individually has developed in you, and you stand apart opposite each other, and you strike each other, or you argue with each other, or you hate each other, and you plan and plot against each other, and you devise all the means that you devise against each other. Over time, it sort of generates into some violence or whatever it is, and you find ourselves putting others into the state of fear, others who was also having the same issue, problems, because maybe theirs have not erupted yet, yours have erupted, so you will be the one that at current had to be dealt with. But everybody, despite there are places where there hasn't been violence, they are very submissive and handling things in a nicer way, but whichever way it is, it will develop as time goes, as long as they hold on to these things, or these things are not looked into and tackled. A culture of every group must be looked into. I say to myself that how are they going to look into it? I tell you, from that video I said it, that this religion and culture belongs to the museum. It belongs to a research center. It belongs to an exhibition where it will be explored and people will sort of look at it with some admiration and retrospect and sort of remember things of the past. Not to use it as something which a way of life we have to look on. No, we can look at it and build upon it and do things. But it is more something which is meant for places where it will be displayed to tell us the life of a whole generation that we have come out of, to give us a picture, a picture of what we really are or what we were. Give us an idea of what we were or what we are. Now, we're supposed to have that and hold on to it. We don't need to. We don't need to hold on to it. If you go to the museum and you're told about a story about slave trade, do you hold on to slave trade? You dare not do that. I mean, what do you hold on to slave trade for? There's nothing admiring about it. I've seen so many of slave trade issues in London, Museum of London, and when you go through this and you look at it, you feel a bit of the sadness there. You take the lessons out of it, but you will not let somebody look at you and thinking that you are a slave or you are coming from the slave end, or somehow you were enslaved or you were conquered, or your tribe is weak or you were not strong. You people could not defend yourself. You people have got a bad image because at the end of the day, you never came out looking bright, or somehow you did not have you're not able to contribute much in life, and all those people, all those things that's not really come into place. That I do not even give room for that. The sadness in the sense that you feel within yourself that was it necessary. There can be a bit of resentment, a true picture of what happened at that time. But if only you're thinking straight and you learn the history of the other two, you will learn that what made them also do what they did. So it is a place where you will know what your attacker or what your oppressor was getting his information from, or what information your oppressor was basing his